Alright, last one of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm taking a break. Yes, I am. So, we get Jitters. Meteor Freak of the Week is Earl Jenkins, played by Tony Todd. Now, I must correct myself. I was naming off all those, actors that I know will eventually be on Smallville, or have been on Smallville, and are connected to Final Destination 2 or the franchise in whole. And then I mentioned at the end of the review that Tony Todd's in this one, and I didn't even mention him as part of the Final Destination things. Yes, he's famous for, well, he's partially famous for being a Final Destination. The other horror franchise he's famous for is Candyman, which I've never seen, but I want to. I'm trying to. Over the next year, I want to try to get more horror franchises for my ranking. It's Reanimated has 3, Candyman has 3, 4 with the remake coming next year sometime. But I want to get the Candyman ones because the new Candyman's coming out. I want to see. It's supposed to be a sequel, so Tony Todd is returning. So, I hear the second and third ones are crap, but so here's the dealio with this episode, Smallville. All right. So Clark's parents are celebrating their anniversary. They go to Metropolis every year for the anniversary, and they leave Clark alone. Clark wants to have an intimate little get-together, and we don't see how, but it gets out of hand. Like, there's a whole bunch of people there. I assume that Pete blabbed to everyone, but it's never spelled out. We're introduced at first to Earl, who, I guess, used to work on the farm when Clark was younger, and took a job at Luthor Corp, the Smallville Luthor Corp plant, and I guess, according to him, he worked on level 3, which supposedly doesn't exist. As we go through the series, we find that there's secrets that the Luthors are hiding. A lot of them. Lex, I firmly believe Lex had no idea about level 3 at this stage. He even confronts his father about it after the whole situation's done. After accidentally killing the janitor at the Luthor Corp building in Metropolis, he tries to find Jonathan, but they're out of town, which, ironically, they're in Metropolis, so it's kind of weird. But, so, Whitney finds him in the barn, and he and Clark confront him, and Clark realizes who it is, and then he has to take him to the hospital. They don't know what's going on with him, but every time Clark gets near him, he gets sick, like with the meteor rocks, kryptonite. And they eventually reveal that there's, we can assume, kryptonite embedded in his skin, which is why it makes Clark weak. There's something I want to talk about, because it's bullshit, alright? Clark has super speed. His super speed cleans the house after the party, and when he's done, both the parents are standing there, and Jonathan's clapping. No, that shouldn't happen. Clark has super speed, therefore it should be too fast. Before they even walk in the door, he should be done with everything. They shouldn't even know what happened. But it's skimmed over anyway once he brings up Earl and what happened. The party's never brought up again. And wouldn't you know it, the Clark's class is taking a field trip to the Smallville Luthor Corp plant, where Chloe's father works. Probably how they got the connection, got the field trip, yeah. And wouldn't you know, Earl shows up and causes trouble. Lex shows up and tries to figure things out. Then Lionel, Lex's dad, shows up. Lionel shows up. And Lex says he's going in to deal with the situation. It's his plan. He's going to deal with it. Now, one thing I've always notice about this is that Lionel acts like he doesn't care about Lex, but he actually cares about Lex more than anything in the world. Is his son. He acts all high and mighty, but he does really care. Especially in the later episodes, he does change for the better. I mean, he still has some, two-faced tendencies, but he still helps for the better. Later. So during this, Earl shows up, like I said. He wants to be taken to level 3. He goes to the door he's supposed to, and the elevator is gone. Clark finds a schematic, like a building plan, blueprint, that's what it is. And it shows that there's no level 3. Stop yawning. I don't get it. I don't yawn that much at all off of camera, but all of a sudden I'm yawning constantly. I don't get it. Anyhoomst. Clark, or Lex, convinces Earl to let all the people go and he'll take him to level 3. But of course, Lex believes there is no level 3. Even Clark's like, you know where it is? And he's like, Clark, there is no level 3. Now get out. But he doesn't. He stays. And he goes to where Earl said the level 3 is. And he uses X-ray vision to find there is an elevator behind the door. On the wall, I mean. And he breaks it open. And he leaves like a sledgehammer or something laying there to make it look like he used that to break it open. But, yeah, and then he takes Lex down and he gets in the elevator and there's only 2 buttons. And Lex is like, only 2 buttons, only 2 levels, I'm sorry. And he just presses underneath. Obviously, there's something there. There's a space. There's something there. It's an invisible button. He pushes it, lights up, it goes down. Now, I have one thing that confuses me. Clark is down there. Like, he comes up from the elevator side. We don't hear the elevator activate to go back up to get him. Clark can't be around him because of the kryptonite embedded in his skin. Now, you may be asking, why is this episode called Jitter? Well, kryptonite embedded in his skin causes him to have these seizures that make him jitter out. And this, culminates in the end where they're on this, this little metal bridge thing, and he shakes it, and it causes the bridge to break. Now, Clark, this is the one thing that's confusing, is Clark is weak when he touches Earl because of kryptonite stuff. But he's still able to pull Earl up, and then Lex. And then Lex asks, how'd you pull us up? I'm like, does he need to have a reason how he could pull you up? I mean, Earl might be a little bit hard for him to pull up, but he's, Clark's not necessarily, he's got muscles, He can easily lift up Lex, but Earl might have been a problem. But the thing is, for me, is that he pulls up Earl with barely any problems with the kryptonite stuff. And it shows that he's affected, so I just don't get it. The whole thing is, they get back up, they get ready to go to the elevator. He starts shaking again, and Clark tackles both of them into the elevator, or they both tackle Earl into the elevator. But they forgot to make Clark look sick looking. They're just in there, like nothing's wrong. Well, I like this though. Lex tricks his dad into paying for, his medical bills and stuff to find a doctor to help him. I like that. And then, yeah, wraps up. Happy ending. All that stuff. Decent episode. It's alright. Tony Todd is the best thing in this episode. His acting is amazing. He really sells it as a guy who needs to find a cure for himself. He's desperate. He's not able to be around his child his baby because of this. Yeah. Now, I just thought of this. This baby, he's like a newborn infant. And it said that he was infected with this stuff. Right? When he was cleaning years ago. When he was doing this stuff years ago, he's infected. That kid is fucked. He's screwed. That kid is going to end up with the same problem as Earl did. Now, we don't get that far because they forget this plot point after season 1, but yeah, that kid's going to have the same problems because he's probably infected too. At least half infected. So he might not be as, but the kid's going to have some problems. But like I said, decent episode. Tony Todd was awesome. Tony Todd was awesome. So, like, share, and subscribe. What do you think of this episode? Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you.